everybody, this is your boy Jay Ronin bringing you a card discussion on the new Jack Atlas support. And man, I gotta tell you, as a Red Dragon player, I've been waiting for ages to get some Red Dragon support. I mean, every time I see some Jugi support, some Jusei, Yuja support card, I'm like, what about the villains, man? We need some new support, and I'm pretty stoked about this one. So let's dig into the new cards. First off is Command Resonator, which is a quick play spell card, and its effect reads as follows. You can only activate one card with this card names once per turn, so Konami learned its lesson right. Heart once per turn is our thing now. Effect is discard one Resonator monster, add one level 4 or lower monster from your deck to your hand. So let's look at the cons and pros. I don't understand this card because we already have a searcher for a Red Dragon deck in Resonator Call that searches any Resonator on the deck. This is supposed to be doing the same thing at the cost of discarding the card, which I don't get because on a Red Dragon deck you don't really have any effects that trigger in the graveyard other than the Wandering King, which searches another Resonator. So to me, this feels like this card is completely not necessary. Pros, I guess you could search Grand Magi with the thing, but why would you? It's I don't know, this is weird. I don't understand why they gave Red Dragons another searcher when we already have Resonator Call, which is like the best kind. It's kind of like just like a Rhoda, you know, like no discarding, no drawbacks, no cost. You activate, it's a 1-for-1 type of thing. Next card is Red Rain, which I actually kind of dig. It's a normal trap. Its effect is as follows. You can only use this card's name's second effect once per turn. The first effect is, if you control a level 8 or higher synchro monster, banish as many monsters in the field as possible except the monsters with the highest level. And if you do, face up monsters in the field that were not banished by this effect are unaffected by cards until the end of this turn except their own. Effect number 2 is, if a Dark Dragon synchro monster is synchro summoned to your field while this card is in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. Now obviously this thing has a cost, but to me it's kind of necessary because it does give Red Dragon something that they lacked a lot, which is some type of interaction during your opponent's turn. You have Scarlight, right, which blows everything up on the field, that has a lower attack than it, but you can only activate its effect on your turn. And the only dragon that you actually have to interact with your opponent on their turn, it's Abyss. That's the reason why Agripane got banned, because you could just bring out Abyss and have a free negate for no reason at all. But this card actually lets you banish all of your all the monsters on the field except the highest level one. So cons to me, sometimes you might banish your own monsters, and yeah, that kind of sucks. I mean, if you do have a good turn and you end up summoning Bane and then activate its effect to tribute a monster to bring Abyss back during your synchro climb, you might end up banishing Abyss because Bane it's a level 10 and Abyss is a level 9, and you know how it works. But I mean, you could always make any more, you could always synchro again into Abyss or into Scarlet or whatever. To me, banishing the monsters your opponent controls is way more effective, and it's worth the risk, or it's worth the price of just banishing your Abyss. Pros, it's non-targeting, non-destruction removal, which is the best kind of removal there is. You get rid of problematic monsters. Think of Chaos, Abramax, stuff like that. Their monsters are for the most part gone for good because not a lot of decks have anything to bring stuff back from the banish pile. You know, a lot of strategies don't think that far ahead. Whatever monster you have left in the field has like that ultimate Falcon effect where it's not affected by any cards except its own. So if you have something like an Abyss or a Bane, that's a big body, Bane is 3500 attack. I mean, you gotta deal with now another Falcon, right? That it's not affected by anything. It's 3500 attack. Or if you have an Abyss, I mean, 32. It's kind of a hefty number to get over. The best thing about this is that it keeps coming back. If you synchro summon the next turn, you get another Scarlet, you get another Red Dragon. This goes back to your hand, so it doesn't have that banish it when it leaves the field type of thing where you can only use it once or twice during the duel and then you gotta get an extra copy. So you could get away with just using one copy of this, and if you draw into it, it's another form of disruption. If you really wanna um, surprise your opponent with this thing, you could, run 2 copies of it, and it'll be perfectly fine. The next card we have is Red Familiar, which is a level 4 Dark Fiend monster with 1600 attack and 0 defense, and its effects read as follow. You can only use this card's name's first and second effects once per turn each. Effect number 1, you can tribute 1 Fiend monster, then target 1 Dark Dragon Synchro monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position but negate its effects. Effect number 2, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Dark Dragon Synchro monster you control and declare 1 level from 1 to 8. That monster becomes that level until the end of this turn. So, I guess this is supposed to help you with summoning Supernova, because Supernova requires 3 tuners and it's a level 12 monster. So if you have something like a level 8 synchro like Scarlight, you have 4 other levels to play with. So you can have a level 2 and a level 1 and another level 1 that makes 3 tuners. 4 plus 8 equals 12, then you make Supernova. But if you have something like Bane, it makes it impossible for Supernova to come out, because Bane is a level 10 and you only have 2 extra levels to play with, and you need 3 monsters to accommodate that. So I'm guessing that this is supposed to be something to bring back a fallen Bane or a fallen Abyss, bring it back with no effects, and then use its manipulate its level and lower it so you can have another 3 tuners and go into Supernova. And that's the only thing that I can think of. I mean, I guess this is kind of like one-off. It's one of those, like, I'd rather be prepared type of thing. Other than that, I don't see any use in its effect. Either there can be special summon with Resonator, which is a level 2 tuner, and they just go into Red Rising Dragon. But other than that, I mean, it's weird. The only thing is, obviously, you can tribute itself as a normal summon this monster, special summon this monster. If you have Red Resonator, you can normal summon Red Resonator. Use Red Resonator's effect to special summon this monster, and then use its effect, tribute itself, bring back Bane, bring back Scarlight. Scarlight is a level 8, has no effects. Use it and Red Resonator to go into Bane, and if you have another monster, use it to tribute for Bane's effect to bring back an Abyss or anything like that. But other than that, I don't see this being an actual good card to play in a Red Dragon deck. I mean, it's kind of like a very situational type of thing. And the next card is by far the best one that they announced out of this bunch. Hopefully we get more support in this, because it's been kind of lackluster other for the trap and this one monster, which is Crimson Resonator. It's a dark level 2 Fiend Tuner monster with 800 attack and 300 defense. It's a once per turn type of thing on both its effects. And it has an extra effect, says you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck during the turn you activate any of these cards' effects except Dark Dragon Synchro monster, which is perfectly fine, because by the time we get these cards, we're going to be like that smack in the middle of Master Rule 5, and we don't need to link summon in order to synchro or exceed or fusion summon anymore. Its first effect says if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. That's always great. Second effect is if the only other monster you control is exactly 1 Dark Dragon Synchro monster, you can special summon up to 2 Resonator monsters from your hand and or deck except Crimson Resonator. So this is kind of nuts, man, because otherwise, I mean, negative things about this, I can't find any. It doesn't eat up your normal summon, right? It can special summon itself if you control no monsters. It helps you summon Supernova with like the greatest of ease. You could just summon this thing. If you have the Wandering King in your hand, you can special summon this. A special summon the Wandering King using its effect. You use these 2 monsters to go into Red Rising Dragon, activate Red Rising Dragon's effect, bring back this, activate its effect because you control Red Rising Dragon, bring out 2 more level 2 monsters level 2 Resonators from your deck, which are Red Resonators, and you already have enough levels to go into Supernova, and you haven't even used your normal summon. So this is by far the best card of support that we've gotten in a while, and I just can't find it. I've been using it on YGO Pro and it works like a charm. Just a definitely 3 off, because it makes you go into Supernova easy PG. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I believe, I hope we get a little bit more support than this I don't know what Konami is thinking, but hopefully we get something. I mean, the searcher it's I don't understand. We already have Resident Evil Call. I believe what Red Dragons need are more cards to interact during your opponent's turn. That's the only reason why I think the trap it's something that you might want to consider applying in this deck. But other than that, I believe that the one thing that we need, if it's not negated, is just something to interact with your opponent during their turn. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.